selling process hasn't changed in 3,000 years. Since the Phoenicians invented money, the selling process looks something like this. There's a problem. So if you're selling clay pots in Samaria, people have a need and you sell it. So somebody has an itch and you scratch it. You might say this is benefit selling, right? So there's a problem, opportunity, and a need, and you address it. Now the next evolution is you bundle this with services. This is where solution selling comes in, right? So you've got products, you've got services, you mix them together into this witch's brew of solutions, and you deliver that to the customer. But that's still not the end of the story, is it? Because they have to implement this. What's the purpose of selling this solution if they don't do anything with it? So the next step in this buyer's evolution is the implementation. And so you hear a lot of talk about business process optimization, you talk about re-engineering, but ultimately the buyers have to put this into action for them to have any benefit. And then the final thing is, what are the outcomes from this? What are the results? What are the improvements that we hope we get? Now, the top people, the people that are earning $1 million plus a year, where do you think they focus their time, energy, and attention? On the outcomes, right? They focus all their attention not on how wonderful the widget is, not how great your solution is, not how it's going to be implemented. They talk about what are you going to get if you do it. Does that make sense to everybody? So it's the priorities. What's important to the customer? How do I get the end results that they're looking to gain? And the customer's always wrong. But the story was, they asked the Clemson coach, how come you win year after year? And he says, well, I always recruit the best people. He says, well, how do I identify the best people? He says, well, here's what I do. All these guys look great in sweatpants. They're muscular, they're fast, they do this. But some players, they get out in the field, boom, somebody hits them, and they're not the same. Then there are those players that look good in the uniform, but they get out, boom, somebody hits them, they pop up, but boom, somebody hits them, and they're not the same. Then there are those players that no matter how many times you hit them, boom, they pop up, boom, they pop up, boom, they pop up. Who do you think I recruit? And the reporter says, the guy that pops up all the time? He says, no, the guy who's hitting them. This is called a reverse. And a reverse is whatever somebody gives you as a reason they can't do something, that's the very reason they should do it. I can't succeed, I can't ever make $1 million because I'm too young. Well, being young is the very reason you will do it, because you've got more time to learn, develop, and grow. You've got more years to do it. Well, I can't do it because I'm too old. That's exactly why you're going to succeed, because you've got life experiences. You don't have to go through the same learning curve. You've got a great network built up. The fact that you're older gives you a better chance to succeed. That's called reversing it. Now, in sales, we do this all the time. Your price is too high. How do you respond to that? Well, you're concerned with the investment is the reason you should go ahead with this investment. Why do you say that? Well, because when you make any investment, what you're looking for is a return. And if the highest investment gives you the best return, that makes the best sense for you long run. So the very reason it's expensive is the reason you should go ahead with it. Does that make sense? That's a reverse if you're a small company. That's the very reason you should go with my company. Not some big faceless organization, but somebody who gives you personal attention. Does that make sense? Well, you're too big a company. That's the very reason you should go ahead with this. Because we're big, we're broad, we have lots of resources, and you know that we're going to be in business. Whatever it is, you reverse it. Does that make sense? So take a few minutes and the reasons that you've been given, I want you as salespeople to reverse them. Okay? Go ahead.